Hey everyone, real quick disclaimer before the video starts. My past experience with Destiny was on the PS4, and I played all the way from vanilla all the way through Rise of Iron. This will be played on the PC build of the beta, and finally, due to time constraints, I was only able to play the beta for one night, and I was unable to play all the classes and explore all the changes as well as the new subclasses. So for this video, I'll be playing what's familiar to me, and that's the Warlock Voidwalker. So with all that being said guys, I hope you all enjoy the video, and I'll talk to you guys later. So launching the Destiny 2 beta the other day surprisingly brought a lot of hope to my heart with this game. Bungie's had a lot of time to figure out just what they want to do with the game and really showed to the fans that they actually do care about the game that they've created. The beta allows you to play the opening segment of the story, 1 strike, and 2 game modes for PvP.
Ikora, if you tell me this is a practical joke, well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
So for the story of Destiny 2, it already seems like a step up from Destiny 1. Showing Cayde, Ikora, and Zavala interacting right before introducing the new Cabal enemy types that'll be acting as the main villains through the new campaign. This is great because you get to see firsthand how strong of a force the Cabal are, unlike in Destiny 1 where things were just kinda told to you, or better yet, left for you to discover through the Grimoire. Seeing the tower just be destroyed and the Traveler being swarmed by the Cabal fleet does a great job at showing that the Cabal are a force that does pose a real danger to the Guardians and the survivors who live inside the city. As far as gameplay goes, everything feels very familiar, even after switching from console to PC. Everything just feels right, and with the ability to bind everything, just makes the game way more comfortable to play for extended periods. You later meet up with Cayde, and he does some pew 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 magic, which is pretty cool. Then you meet up with Lord Shaxx, who's actually standing with a whole bunch of civilians at the tower, which is actually pretty cool for me just to see other people who aren't Guardians affected by what's happening around them. Then you get a free exotic, which is pretty cool, and you pretty much continue on your merry way through the tower. You eventually fight the Cabal in the main hangar, which was really cool, and just fighting the new Cabal, although familiar, felt really fresh with the newer Cabal enemies, mixing up the monotony of the older fights with some new abilities. This next area has you fight off waves of the Cabal with Zavala, and seeing the main area of the tower being destroyed like this made me both sad and oddly happy. Also, I finally got to try out the new Nova Bomb, and I gotta say, I love it. And after all that, you meet up with Ikora and she does her own bit of space magic, and everything's pretty standard of Destiny with just running through the tower and killing Cabal, until you meet up, of course, with this new mini-boss that really isn't anything to write home about. Soon thereafter, you board the Cabal's main carrier, and the game feels the same, however something feels different. Gameplay-wise, it's just running and gunning through the ship like we're all used to, but the new enemies and small details like the storm and all the moving parts of the ship just make everything feel bigger and much more cinematic than before. I just hope that the rest of the game's missions, and especially story-driven parts, contain just as much detail. And finally, the Guardian comes face to face with the main antagonist of the game, Ghaul. And I don't entirely know what this guy's motivation is, like, I really haven't been paying attention to all the advertising for this guy, but based on what I see in this cutscene and what he says, it seems to me that he thinks that the Guardians don't deserve the Traveler's Light, and in fact does something that looks to sever the bond that the Guardians have with the Ghost and the Traveler, but instead of just killing you then and there, he just kind of kicks you off the ship, and we get our title screen. I know it's nitpicking, but it's just something I found kind of stupid. However, I guess you could argue that he just finds you to be so below him that he wouldn't even waste his time killing you. So the new strike that I got to play was different, and I know that I already said it before, but I just want to restate it again, that everything is new, but feels familiar. And yes, the new strike does look great, with designs that match that of the Black Guardian from Destiny 1, like platforms and arcways, and you do fight the Vex in very standard locations that you would expect to fight them in, but soon thereafter, you're fighting the Cabal in sort of this D-Day themed beachfront that I found to be especially cool. So really, I just wanted to highlight this one specific part of the strike, just because of how different it is. In the past, strikes felt very claustrophobic and seemed to all take place indoors and never outdoors, and really fighting the enemies in a very well-lit area that's out in the open, it just feels different and fresh, and it's personally something that I like, and I hope to see in more of the strikes in Destiny 2. Dear God, I love the new sounds. The second to last part of the strike has you fighting the Cabal next to one of these giant drills, and this is definitely one of the coolest things I've seen in a strike, and really all I'm going to say about this part is I would recommend a shotgun. Finally, we reached the final boss of the strike, and big reveal, and it's a
Big Vex. Bigger guns.
Yep, the ghost said it himself. Big Vex, bigger gun. Not like we thought that before. Now I do admit, with everything else that happens in the strike before this part, and a pretty good final phase of the boss fight, the strike overall doesn't suffer from the boss's lack of innovation. Also, the loot seems pretty rewarding, so I can't complain too hard, really. So everything on the PvE side of things do seem to be an improvement from Destiny 1, but my real interests lie in the PvP side of Destiny 2.
Enemy claim.
Okay, well, that sucked. I'm just kidding, but to be honest, I can't give a fair assessment of the PvP side of Destiny 2, at least for quick play. I'm not used to playing Destiny on the PC, so my skills aren't like how they are in other shooters. But what I can say is the player reduction to 4v4 from 6v6 is a good improvement, and making supers on a way longer cooldown makes gunplay more of a factor and less about ability spam. Now I may be rusty, but Destiny 2's competitive game mode is where I think Destiny PvP shines, much like Trials of Osiris did in Destiny 1. The game mode itself is search and destroy with 2 bomb sites and no respawns. Heavy ammo spawns on both sides of the map near the bomb site, and based on the map I was able to play, there will be a long and short range area for the bomb sites. So where shotguns and hand cannons are most useful in one spot, pulse rifles, scouts, and sniper rifles are best in another. This is great because it allows players who want to specialize in a certain weapon type have a zone that best suits that specific weapon. And that just about does it for the beta. And I know this video is kind of late and all, but regardless, I had fun with the Destiny 2 beta. I do hope that Bungie fixes the many problems that held Destiny back from being a great game, and depending on how things shape up, it'll really decide whether or not I get the game or not. And something that I forgot to mention before, in PvP, I think hand cannons may need separate balancing for the PC version of the game, because on PC, it's easier to manage recoil than it is on the console, thus making hand cannons feel completely busted. Also, since I didn't have that much time to play, I don't think shotguns are as much of a problem now like they were in Rise of Iron, which I welcome with open arms. At the end of the day, guys, I hope the best for Destiny 2. I'm not sure if I'll end up making videos for Destiny 2 in the future, because again, depending on the changes that come to the story and PvP, are really the deciding factors for me. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching, like and subscribe if you think I deserve it, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, have fun.